Okay, in the previous session, we discussed about the custom column and then conditional column. And today's session, we will continue with understanding what is column from examples feature. Okay, this is really a super cool feature in Power Query Editor. Using custom column, you can add additional columns to your existing table. And even conditional column also helpful to add a additional column to your existing table. But the advantage of conditional column is you don't have to write explicitly if else condition. You don't have to write script. Instead, in the GUI, you specify the condition. If so-and-so values falling in so-and-so range, low or high, like in the previous session, we discussed the sales segment, right? Likewise, you can create a new column with the conditional column as well. And we have something called custom column or column from examples. Sorry, column from examples. So the column from examples allows you quickly and easily create new column. And this feature is really good for scenarios like, so let's say, the data you want in your new column. Let's say you have 10 column and you want to create a new column, but in the new column, based on the existing column, you wanted to, include the data there. Okay. So like I have shown you the net sales. Net sales. How did we compute the net sales? The gross sales minus the sales into the discount plus the sales amount, right? Gross sales. You subtract the discount from your gross sales, you will get net sales. The net sales column we arrived based on the existing column, right? We use some formula on the existing columns. We derived a new column by the name of net sales. But there are cases you have the existing column, very good. With the existing column, you need to create a new column, fine. But you are not sure what transformation or what command or M script that you need to use it to do the transformation. If it is a straightforward thing like gross sales minus net sales, gross sales minus your discount, it is pretty simple, but there are cases it will be a bit complex one. Okay, so in that case, how do you write a script? So in that case, you need to write a script explicitly. But even if you are good with M script, M language script, not all the time it is easier for you to write the script to create the derived columns. I'll just open it here. Now the Power BI desktop is being launched. Let's wait for a few minutes. It's being launched. Let's wait for a few moments. Oh, I'm not sure why it takes this much of time. Let me close it and restart it. Okay, for example, now what I do is I just open some file. I'm going to hit load. So the data are being loaded now. Once again, it's being loaded. Okay, let's wait for a few minutes. Sorry. Okay, I repeated once again. Sorry, I made a mistake. I think I covered this one, right, or not? I will, okay, it is, I'll repeat it one more time. So in this case, I just right click on it, replace values. Here, what I am going to do is I'm going to replace all the hyphen by forward slash, because the format of all the values in the date column should be in the same format. Not necessarily forward slash, you can use hyphen. Either you can use hyphen consistently across all the values in this column, or you can use forward slash. In my case, I prefer forward slash. It is not mandatory, okay? I prefer forward slash. Okay. The next step is click on the ABC. Now we need to change it to date data type, but don't use this option because this is in month, date, year format. Click on using locale. And here you need to specify the data type as date and then the English United States. and then click on OK here. Right click on, similarly, click on select the ship date column because this is not in the date data type. When you see next to the ship date, you can see ABC, which means a text data type. So what I'm going to do, I right click on it here and replace values. I'm going to replace the hyphen by /. I'm going to hit OK. Now all the values in the column are in the same format and then consistent format. Okay. And then I click on this, select using local. And then here you select the data type as date and then English United States. And that's it, hit OK. We are done. So you can see the icon next to the order date and ship date as calendar, right? It looks like a calendar, hence we don't see any error. And at the same time, it got converted to data type perfectly. No, that is different thing. So now see, this is using local. When you use a local, it is doing it, okay? Otherwise, it will not work. See, after converting this, if you see this icon, there is no issue. You can simply ignore it, okay? See, here what happens is, right, you have some other settings. You need to set it to, India state, but you don't worry about that. All you need to follow simply the steps, whatever I covered, okay? Forward hyphen is there instead of forward. So let it be there. But the point here is, don't have the mix of hyphen and /. Inconsistent format. We address it with /. But after I convert the United States format, why it is? Because the United States, we converted it. Though we have converted, it is still showing date, month, year format. Okay. You don't have to worry about this. I will explain it, for this later point in time. Okay. We need to go and set it in somewhere in the options and settings. Okay. And that I will explain later. At this moment, you just understand we are able to successfully convert the data. Okay. Forget about the rest of the things. So next, what I do is I just go here and there is a requirement. For example, there are some data you need to access from other website, third-party application website. Okay. In that website, they have exposed the data, but to access the data, you need to use their API. But to use their API, you need to pass the date in the year, month, date format. Only then it'll return a value in that website. Okay. So in that case, you need to convert the value in this column as year, month, date format. How do I do that? For that, you need to know the M script, right? How to do that? You need to know that. But without knowing the M script, is there any other way? Can I convert this format like year hyphen month hyphen date? Is it possible to do that without knowing the M script? See, the column, that is where the column from example feature comes very much handy. So you can see column from examples here. So this feature is useful when you want to transform or derive a new column in your data set. In this case, I need to create another column. In that column, year, month, date, format, data should be made available there, okay? But you are not sure how to write the M script or the necessary transformation, okay? Instead of manually writing the transformation, better you can provide example value for the new column. So this is, you just click on the drop down in the column from examples. From selection, don't select the first one, second one. That means whichever column I selected, for that you create a new column. That column, we need to key in the examples so that the Power Query editor can understand whatever the value we keyed in that format. It will understand, it should convert the rest of the values in whatever the way that we typed it. In that way, it will get converted. So what I do is I just click on this one, the drop down here from selection. So I selected this column and I'm going to click on from selection. That means whatever column you select, based on which you create a new column. Okay. 1 second, sorry, I'm getting some call from office. Yeah. So now the whole idea is I want to convert the format of this order date column in year, month, date format. So for that, first I need to tell Power Query which column. I have more than one date column is there. Which column I need to convert. For this, I selected this column. In the column from examples, in the drop down, when you click on it, from selection, you selected this one. This table, sorry, in this column, what it should do is, it should convert it to year, month, date format. What I do here is 2012. I'm going to key in some examples. Examples are nothing but the values. Okay, I just press enter, or data. Okay, sample data I'm going to key in here. Okay, this is how the machine learning algorithm works. You know very well, artificial intelligence is now ruling the roast, right? You might have heard about ChatGPT, all the things. And the base for the ChatGPT is machine learning algorithm, artificial intelligence. Feature is going to be artificial intelligence. Okay, one way it is good, they have introduced this feature, at least you will get to know what is machine learning. So in the case of machine learning, we need to train the system with some sample data, like how you train your kid. Let's say you have a kid at your home, right? So what you do is you tell your kid, or let's say your sister kid or your brother's kid, when it comes, you tell them this is what elephant toy, this is what giraffe toy, right? Similarly, we are going to train this Power Query editor by giving some sample data, which is nothing but examples. I'm going to press type 5. Look here, I just typed two values. What happens is the power, like machine learning algorithm, it learns from the data. So with this sample data, it learned the pattern, and then it automatically converted the rest of the values in the required format. But while, like how a kid can understand, right? So when you give some example, for example, you give two toys to a kid, and then you tell this is what is element, this is what elephant, this is what giraffe. Sometimes what will happen is, even though you teach the kid by giving the toys, everything, sometimes it might tend to make small mistakes, right? Similarly, here also it made some mistake. Look here, in this case, what happened? 0502. Since I mentioned 0 to 05, for the other values, it is doing it correctly. Look here, it is doing it correctly here. Okay. But here in this case, there is no zero prefixed, in the month column. So for this kind of inaccurate thing, one more time, you just type it. That's it. You can see all the values got converted in the required format. You don't have to manually look here. If you look at here in the formula bar, it has used a M script. It generated. So there is a M language function called text.combine. This is the script you need to use it. Inside this, you need to convert this text data in the order date, right? Date column, you need to convert as a text data, and then you need to extract year and year, and then you need to combine the year, followed by hyphen, you need to put it, and then date to text. Again, you need to convert the text data. See here, this is a text data. Convert this text data as a date to text, and the order date, comma hyphen month hyphen. So you need to write this script. Even experienced people, it might take some time. If you are very good in M script, even then it takes some time, right? But with this one, it's kind of a no-brainer job. Simply type some sample format. It learns from this sample data, whatever you typed it, the pattern. So what happens? Oh, this is how. Whatever the data that you type in here, it learn the pattern from this data. What pattern? Year hyphen month hyphen date. But here, what happened in this case? The month values are single digit, hence they prefixed 0 before that, right? So wherever single digit is a prefix with 0, fine. But in this case, 2-digit is there, it was not giving the proper thing. Hence, in this case alone, you need to type one more time the sample data. So with this sample data in the sense, whichever the required format, you need to type it here. So based on the pattern that you have typed it so far with the sample data, it learns the pattern automatically and it converts the rest of the data in no time, like this. Okay. Now your job is over. Hit OK. Now a new column will get created. Look here. This is your order date. Year MMDD. Okay. So this one, you can use it as an argument, or you can pass this value to your API. That API will pick up this value and then it will go to that website and then it will pass that value. And that, for example, you want to know the exchange rate on different date. What is the exchange rate? Every day the currency rate changes, isn't it? So in that case, each and every date, what is the currency? In that website goes and pass this value for this specific date. This is the exchange rate. For that website to give us the exchange rate, you need to pass this one in the year, month, date format. Okay. Sometimes, you may encounter these kind of things. You need to change it. But in this case, it's a no-brainer job. You don't have to write any program or anything, right? It automatically converts this one in the required format with column from examples. Okay, so and there are some cases like, for example, you have some other example is, let's say your customer.name is there. Okay, customer.name is there. You want to split the first name and second name. First name is the first word and second name is second thing. You need to do it that way. So in that kind of situation also, it's very much helpful. Okay. I have another column. Where is that? City, state, customer name. See, in this case, it is pretty simple. First name and last name, you know very well. And if you see here, state and country here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to merge these two column data into singular. Supposing your manager has given you the data like this. This is another example. He has given you data something like this. Okay, you don't have separate column for country and you don't have separate column for state. But when he gave you the data, it is like this. So in that kind of situation, what logic you will be using it? What script you will be using? At least in this case, it is kind of okay, right? If you click on it here in this step, you can see whatever the command that use it, you can see. So like I have shown you text.combine to text, date to text. Okay, and convert the text data to date format, extract y, month and date, and then put hyphen in between them. Fine. At least even this one itself, a difficult thing for a beginner to understand this script, writing the script. But for this kind of complex scenarios, the column from examples plays an important role, okay, to extract the data in the required format. I'll just explain you now. Look here, I just show you here. Where is that? Okay, merge columns. This is the column I'm talking about, okay? Assume that you don't have a separate column for country and state. Instead, in the given data set, you have the combination of country and state values stored in a single column. But your job now is you need to extract the country separately and state separately. But the data, the way they stored it, there is no structure in it. What do you mean by there is no structure here? The first word is united and followed by space and then states is there. So what you can do is you can use the default functionality, right click on it, keep the cursor somewhere here, not here and here, and right click on it, and then split column by delimiter. You can use a delimiter. In that case, what it is space. If you go by space, what will happen? When it encounters space, it will split this word into a separate column. States will go to a separate column, and new will go to a separate column. York will go to a separate column. We know very well United States is a country name. New York is a state name. In this case, if you use a delimiter space, wherever it encounters space, it will split it blindly. So in that case, we will end up having 4 columns. But this default split column, the by delimiter, by number of character, by position is not helpful. Is there any other way that I can split it? But the data is not, structured one here. What do you mean by structured here? For example, in this case, the New York. Second. Just give me a second. This is not working. If you see here, the New York, okay, there is some problem. I think it is not working here. Okay, inside of this one, it is not working. See, the New York, these two words put together forms a state. But when it comes to Australia, these three words put together forms as a state. And same Australia, in this case, the state name is only one word. The same country, different state have different, some state will have single word. Some state name will have more than one word. In that case, the data is completely unstructured. So how do you extract? It's a very difficult logic, right? You need to use a difficult, complex logic to split it. In that kind of situation also, the column from examples plays an important role. Now what I do is, whichever column I wanted to split it, I selected it. I go to the column from examples, click on the drop down, and from selection. Click on the from selection. And here in the column 1, if you type United States, press enter. And I just typed only one sample data, example. We are not supposed to say sample, example. In the machine learning, artificial, we call it example, okay, sample data. And if you see here, United States, in this case, United States alone, it extracted it correctly. But when it comes to Australia and Queensland, it is not doing a good job. But when it comes to New Zealand, it is doing a perfect job. Again, you need to type some sample data or the required format so that you will be able to understand the pattern which we wanted to extract the data from this column. So what I do is I'm going to select. So I want to extract only the country separately. Press enter. But still, Australia mixed up with Queensland. What I do, Australia and Germany and Senegal. Look here. In this case, Australia got splitted correctly and Senegal also splitted. Even though we have 4 letters, right? So it's splitted. So this one I typed it. And if you see similar record at the bottom, Australia, look here. Followed by Australia, we have New South Wales. One more record is there. Automatically extracted the required one. New Zealand, now it got changed. Similarly, you need to type few sample data. You need to feed, you need to tell the pattern, what pattern it should extract the data, okay? Yes, obviously it involves some kind of typing job. It will take some time. But if you look at the script here, it is very complex one, isn't it? If you look at this script generated by Power Query Editor, it is a bit complex. Splitter dot split text by delimiter code. It's very complex, right? If you have to write a script, the M script, this is called M language script. If you have to write it, it takes a lot of time. It's not an easy job, right? Better you can use column from examples. This is also kind of the artificial intelligence related feature. This makes your job simple. You know very well nowadays with ChatGPT, you can generate the script itself. Supposing you wanted to know how to delete duplicate records from a table, go to ChatGPT, type, please give me script in SQL Server how to delete duplicate record from a table. It automatically gives you tuck, 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 in a matter of seconds, it gives you the script itself. That is also the reason why ChatGPT gained a lot of popularity. The basis for ChatGPT is artificial intelligence. That is why you can see that everywhere, right? So your job will be replaced anytime. You can see in the advertisement also, right? Because it will replace the coders also. That is what many of the developers also now. Even if you say, right, I know programming, everything recording. Right? So basis for ChatGPT, basis for these features or artificial intelligence. Just give me the pattern. I will do the job. You don't have to write the script. Which script? This script. Sit. It artificial intelligence generated the script itself. It wrote the program for you behind the scene, right? But it makes your life simple one way. In this case, you don't have to break your head. What you wanted to achieve, that you can account. You can focus on the core area instead of focusing on, do I need to use which function should I use it? Okay, splitter function. The splitter function, how do I specify the delimiter? You need to use another method, split text by delimiter. You need to go and search in Google, and spend 1 hour, 2 hour, or half a day. Even half a day, if you spend it, you will not get the proper thing. Again, you need to rewrite the script. The script itself generated automatically. All you need to do is input the values. It produces the output as the script. That is what artificial intelligence. Okay, good. But with column from examples, we can smartly leverage this feature to do the transformation. Okay. But at least you should know what is some functions. Like, for example, here added custom column, not this one. Yeah, this one. In the interview, they'll ask you which function that you use it in Power Query Editor to extract year, month, date. You can tell them we have something called date to text. For example, in the case of, let's say I've created a custom column, and there I have, we have some, in the another column, we have text data. I have converted that text data into date format using date dot to text. And then there we have date column, right? Order date was in it. See, I'll tell you with this itself. For example, order date, we convert the date data type, isn't it? We don't have to convert the date data type itself. With this function itself, we can create the format, whatever that we needed. We don't have to create the date format. You all agree with me or not? I spent some time to convert the order date column from text to date data type. But with this itself, we can do that one, right? Let that column be text data type, but use this logic. You can convert, this one into the required format. Once you convert the required format, you can go and change it to date data type also. Okay, you can use. Next step is click on get date data type. This is text, right? You click on it here. Click on date data type. Okay. Or you can go to the using locale, or or find out some format, you can convert it. You just give it a try, okay, and then let me know what answer that you are getting it. Okay, you try to convert the date data type. Okay, directly go and see and convert the date data type and see what you are getting it. Okay, if this is not working, go and undo it and then click on using locale and see which country, year, month, date format is there. Okay, give it a try. So now we understood what is column from examples. This feature is very much helpful if you want to transform or derive a new column like this one or this one. You don't have to write a script, M script. Instead, you can manually key in the values in this format, whatever the format that you wanted, you can type it. Whatever the format that you type it, that is the pattern. The machine learning algorithm, it learns the pattern from the data, whatever you typed it here, and then automatically it converts the rest of the data in the required format based on the samples, based on the patterns it learned from the sample data that you keyed in. So this wraps up the column from examples.